morning to everyone. This is Raghavendra from Data Science Department, working as an assistant professor at Marri Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management, Dundigal, Hyderabad. Okay. Today we are discussing the topic is the cryptography and network security. In this subject, today we are discussing the introduction to cryptography and security. Basically, we are discussing the today's class. First, what is mean by cryptography and what is mean by security and what is mean by aspects of securities and what are the securities provided in between the two principles. Okay, let it be the start. First of all, what is mean by cryptography? And cryptography is the study of secure communication in two principles, that is called sender and receiver. In these two principles, sender side and receiver side, in middle of the two transactions, we are providing some security. Okay, in this sender side, we have to provide some security along with key, that is called encryption. And receiver side, we have to provide some security along with key, that is called decryption. In this first unit, basically we have several topics are there. Those are the security attacks and security services and security mechanisms and model of the internetwork security and cryptography concepts and techniques. Those are the what is mean by plain text and what is mean by ciphertext and what are the substitution techniques in this cryptography and what are the transposition techniques in this cryptography and what is mean by encryption and decryption and what is mean by symmetric and asymmetric cryptography and what is mean by steganography and what is mean and that key range and key size, the possible types of attacks. In this first unit, basically we are discussing the topics are the security attacks and what are the security attacks. Basically in this security attack is mainly probably it will happen in the interruption and interception and modification and fabrication. And security services are the confidentiality and integrity and non-repudiation, authentication and access control and availability. Okay, these are the mainly this first unit topics. Okay, first of all, the security. What it mean by security? This security is the nowadays every organization security of the system is the main priority of any organization. So every organizations want to protect their data from attackers or hackers or third parties. These are for many other unauthorized persons. So to access the security need of an organization efficiently, okay, first of all, we will provide some encryption. For security purpose, we are providing the encryption. Sender side, we are providing some encryption, and receiver side, we are providing some security, that is called decryption. So basically, the encryption can be done in two ways. Okay, two ways. That is called, first one is a stream cipher, and second one is a block cipher. In this stream cipher, that is mean here we have to how to the process of conversion of plain text to cipher text, that is done by every bit by bit. Okay, so that the conversation takes places in every bit by bit. So it will be consider the first bit of first bit. So the first bit it will be get converted into the cipher text, and then a second bit it will be considered and again it is converted into the cipher text, and then it will be follows on third bit and fourth bit, bitwise operation. Generally we will terminology wise we are calling the every stream cipher is the every bit by bit operation. And second one is the black cipher. So black cipher, as the name indicate the black. So the black is nothing but a group of bits and group of bytes. We call it is the black. So there is a size of each black that depends upon the algorithm. So here the process of conversion will be done block by block. So first the entire block, it will be it will be entire message divided into the different blocks, that is depend upon the based on the algorithm. So it will be converted into the every block wise operation. So first block is process and the plain text is converted into the cipher text. Okay, next topic is the classification of attacks. So there are two types of classification of attacks. So those are the passive attacks and active attacks. So passive attacks means no modifications will be done. In this passive attack, no modifications will be done. Here they in the middle of the transaction, an unauthorized person gaining the access, but no modification will be done. Next, active attack. In this attack, modifications will be done, where the middle of the transaction, the unauthorized person gaining the access and modifying the data and changing the file and changing the programs. And this type of attack will be done into the active attack. So here impact will be more because of sender sends the one message and receiver receives the another message. Okay, this is the two types of attacks, like passive attack and active attack. Next, we will discuss into the security attacks. What it mean by security attack? So security attack is an action or attempt by individual or group in a computer system or network or any device, like any digital device, within the intent of the cause of harm and steal the data and disrupt the services or gaining the unauthorized access. So in these security attacks, it will be caused by the some problems. Okay, first attack is the interruption. So in this interruption, what it will happen, an asset of the system is destroyed completely. In between the sender, this is the sender side and this is the receiver. In between the middle of the transaction, the asset of the system is destroyed. So what it will happen, the receiver did not getting the message. Why? Because the asset of the system is destroyed. So the examples of the destruction of hardware, some hardwares, and jamming the wireless signals and disabling the file management system, and communicating cutting the communications and cutting the communication line. Okay, disabling the file management, it will be happened into the interruption. Okay, next attack is the interception. An unauthorized party gaining the access to an asset. Okay, in the middle of the transaction, the unauthorized person gaining the access. Okay, here this is the sender side and this is the receiver. Two principals is there. This is the sender, this is the receiver. Okay, and unauthorized person will gaining the access and sends the another message. So here what will be happening, eavesdropping and copying the data or program the files and wiretapping to capture the data in network. This is the second type of attack. Next one is the next type of attack is the modification. Okay, modification. What will be happen? An unauthorized person gaining the access and modifying the data in the middle of the transaction. It will happen into the changing the data file and altering the program content of the message and alternate program it will be built. So in the sender side and receiver side, what will be happen? The unauthorized person gaining the access and modifying the data, completely modifying the data. So next type of attack is the fabrication. Fabrication. An unauthorized party gaining the access and modifying the data and inbuild some duplicate objects. So here what it will be happen? The sender sends the one message and receiver receives the another message, completely different message. Sender and receiver, and third party sends the another message. Receiver side is the third party person. These are the mainly 4 different types of attacks will be happen in the security attacks. Next one, what it will be services we have to provide due to some attacks. Here the security services. Security services. What it mean by security services? The security services in cryptography are the essential functions or essential goals that protect the data and communication from the threats and attackers or third parties. These services ensure that information is transmitted and stored securely. So what are the services? The security services are confidentiality and authentication and access control and data integrity and non-repudiations. So these are the security services of the data to protect the data and communication the attackers and hackers. Okay, first of all, what it mean by authentication? First of all, authentication. Authentication means here the assurance that communication is the authentic. We have to provide the sender to receiver communication is authentic. That is like peer-to-peer authentication and data organization authentication. And here in this authentication, assurance that communication entity is the one claim. Peer authentication means identify the entities. Receivers identify the entities connected through the communication entities. Next, access controlling. Access control means ability to limit and control access of the system, because of we are not providing the access to each and every person. That's why we given to access in admin only. So entire access will be only in admin. Like in every some organizations are banks, like bank managers and staff, and they are only having the some access is there. Okay, and in this access control, what it will happen? Simply prevent the unauthorized access of the system. And next one is the data confidentiality. Data confidentiality means it maintains the no other persons knows the confidential information. Okay, so what it will be the doing, what it is transformation. It will maintain some confidentiality. Okay, from 2 principles. Okay, so protecting from the data from unauthorized disclosure. Okay, in this data confidentiality having the two types. First one is the connection oriented confidentiality and connectionless confidentiality also is there. Connection oriented is one, and the connectionless oriented confidentiality. Here connection oriented, what will be happen, the data is transferred from one person to another person through a connection. The data transfer from the one person to another person through a connection. We are providing the confidentiality to the connection. Next, connectionless oriented. Here the connectionless oriented, what it will happen, the data is transferred from sender to receiver in many paths, so it is difficult to provide the data confidentiality, so in all paths, so it is difficult to provide the security in all paths. That's why we are providing the security only one single block of data, Next one is the data integrity. So data integrity. So assurance that the data receivers is sent by an authorized entity. So here assurance that receiver receives the exactly same information as sent by the sender. Sender sends the information to receiver who have provide the assurance or who have to provide a proof that the receiver receives the message as sent by the sender in between the true transactions. Okay, here also two types of integrities, that is data connection integrity and connectionless integrity. So connection oriented integrity, it will provide our connection security from on time all users. Okay, so provide the security in connection on time all users of data. Okay, and connectionless integrity, it will provide the assurance from the single block of user data. Next one is the non-repudiation. And non-repudiation, protection against denial by one of the parties into the communication. That is called prevents either sender or receiver from a denying of the services. So these are the security services into the cryptography level. And some basic topics are what will be happen, what it mean by encryption, what it mean by decryption. The sender side provide the security is called the encryption, and receiver side provide the security is called the decryption. And sender side we have to provide along with some key, and receiver side having some provide the one key. Okay, that is called symmetric or asymmetric key. We are calling like that. So symmetric is nothing but, and encryption and decryption both having the same key by using the symmetric key, and asymmetric key is called the in sender side providing the one key and receiver side providing the another key, that is called asymmetric key. And one more thing, some basic topics are in this cryptography level, what is mean by plain text and what is mean by ciphertext. Those are some topics is there. And plain text is the readable format, and ciphertext is the unreadable format. In the sender side, we are providing some message or text, any document is there. In this, whenever we have to provide some encryption, so it is automatically it will converted into the ciphertext. So that is called unreadable format. Okay, that is called ciphertext, and the plain text is called the some readable text format. Okay, Thank you, and all.